Hello everybody, Billy here from Cosplay Lego, and today we are going to be doing the next episode of the Darth Vader cosplay, and today we will be making his armor. There are three main parts to it. There's the chest with shoulders, there is the cod piece, and then there's the shins. So today, the first thing we'll be making is the chest piece, so let's get started with that. So to make the chest piece, first you're going to be needing a template. And I just found this one on the internet. This is what it looks like. And I just printed it out, made it the right scale. And yeah, this is the right scale. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna trace it out onto some EVA foam, and I might actually have to stick a few pieces together because that's too big for just one piece. But I'm gonna trace it out onto it and I'm gonna cut it out. So let's do that. And also when I trace it out, I'm gonna use this silver marker just so it'll show up on the grey foam. So let's get tracing. Also, when you're cutting it out, it could be handy to get some pins and stick them into the paper just so it sticks to the foam like that, just so the paper stays in place while you're tracing it. So now that we've traced it down, we can take out all the pins, and now that all the pins are out, if we take off the paper, there we have the stencil for our shoulder armor. Now we can cut it out with some trusty scissors. Did I say scissors? I meant scissors. Let's go. Okay, so I'm finding it's hard to get into all the spots with the scissors, so I might switch over to using a Stanley knife now. Oh, and by the way, when you're cutting, try and make sure you're cutting on the outside line of the silver line that we made before, just so when we go back in with the sander, we can sand it down to the silver line. There we go. All cut out. Now that we've finished cutting it out, we can go on with some sanding paper and sand down to that silver line, just until you can't see it anymore. Okay, so now we have it cut out and sand it. I forgot this bit. Okay, so now we've finished sanding it, it is time to get this the right shape. And by that I mean chaining it so that this goes around the shoulders and it's all good. So the way I'm gonna do that is I'm gonna get a hairdryer and I'm gonna heat it up for a few minutes, and then once I'm done, I'm just gonna pull it over, and then when it cools down, it should be the right shape. So it's pretty straightforward, just kind of warping the foam. So let's heat it up and let's do that. So now we're gonna do this little shoulder bit of the armor. So I've done this little drawing and this is the shape I'm gonna use. So I'm just gonna cut it out. Okay, so this is a good size. So let's trace this 4 times onto the foam. So now we have 2 traced onto some foam. Let's cut it out. Okay, so it should be ready to stick together now. So let's give it a crack. So now, to finish off these shoulder pieces, we're going to need some thinner foam. Now I'm just going to trace this piece I made onto some thinner foam, and then twice, and then cut it out. So now that I've traced them, I'm just going to cut them out and glue them onto the shoulder pieces. Okay, so now that I've done that, I'm going to attach a little tab to each side, right here. So then, I can attach it to the actual armor, like that. So, let's do that. Okay, so here is the chest piece with the shoulder pads on, and I must say it is looking really nice. And I also like to add, I put in a few support pieces in here after I heated it up, just so I could keep its spot a little better. But yeah, it's looking really good. So for the next step, we're gonna need the template again. So I'm just laying it over here to show you what we're gonna do. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut down this line, down this line, down this line, and the same thing, down this line, down this line, down this line, So we've got this big piece in the middle here and 2 strips on the side, and that looks like this. And now with this, we're going to trace these 3 pieces out onto some thinner foam just like this. Then we're going to glue them onto the torso armor. So let's do that. Okay, so here it is with the foam on top, and it's really beginning to take shape. So the next step, the next thing we're gonna have to do is I'm gonna draw some U-shaped things right here which are on the stencil, and they look like this on either side. I'm just gonna draw them on and then I'll get back to you. And I think you can sort of get the picture from that. So now I'm just gonna cut them along the silver line like that, and I'm gonna quickly do that. So now I've cut out the holes here. The next thing to do is we're gonna push these holes through like that and then glue them so that there's a little gap there like that, and do that on both sides. So I'm gonna go do that. So now I've done that, it's time for the next step. And the next step is we're gonna need this piece again. And with this piece, what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut off these 2 side bits here, like this. And now we have just this piece. And once again, we're gonna cut this piece out of the thinner foam sheets, like we did with these 2. And we're just gonna stick it on like that. So let's do that. Okay, so now we've done that. That's looking pretty good. And the very last thing that's foam related onto this armor will be a small strip of thin foam right here. So I'm gonna go do that right now. So in the next step for making this torso armor, we're gonna need some glue, just some normal Elmer's clear glue. And what we're gonna do with it is we're actually gonna paint a layer of it all over the armor, just so when we actually spray paint it, the paint doesn't just seep into the foam. So yeah, let's get painting this glue on. Okay, so now that the clear glue is dried, we can go over it with a primary coat of Rust-Oleum flat grey primer. And we're just gonna wisp it across the surface and just cover everything. So let's do that. Okay, so now we're gonna give it a coat of aluminium spray paint. Now you don't need to cover the whole thing with this, just these indents here on either side and this middle thing. But you can cover the whole thing if you want, or you can just do those bits, but those are the bits you have to do, because for the other bits we'll be masking them off and, you know, doing stuff. But we'll get to that. So I'll just go in and paint all the bits that need to be painted in this car. Doesn't matter if you get it on the other bits, because we'll be painting over that anyway. Okay, so now it's time to mask off some areas. So the areas that we'll be masking off are these 2 indents here and this middle bit right here that's pushing out. So let's mask them off. Okay, so now we're gonna give it a coat of Rust-Oleum Gloss Black. So let's do it. And with this, we have to make sure we get the shoulders and these bits here. Okay, so it's finished drying now, and I just peeled off the tape that we used to mask the paint, and I must say it's looking really nice. Like, the lines came out really clean, and you can see the blacks and the silvers and the blacks and the silvers. And I'm not showing you the full thing because I'll leave that as a surprise for the final reveal. So next, we're gonna be making the straps. And the way that we're gonna make these straps is I've got these 2 buckles that I've just had for a while, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut out some strips of this thin 2mm thick foam, and I'm gonna glue them to either one of the buckle. So each side here is gonna have a strip behind it, and then I'm gonna glue them in here and in here on both sides of the shoulder armor, and then when I wear it I can clip it together and it'll sit on me really nice and snug. So I'm gonna go do that and then we'll get a start on the shin armor. Okay, so now it is time to make the knee armor. And once again, I have a template for this, and this is another one I found on the internet. Here's the photo. That's what it looks like. If you want to print it off, go right ahead. So, I printed this off and I stuck it together just to make it all my size. And now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna have to make 2 of them. So we're gonna have to trace 2 of them onto this foam. So, let's do it. Once again, we're gonna be using the pins and the markers. There's the first trace done. And that's the second one done. So now, let's cut them out. And for that, I'm just going to be using some scissors. So you know what, I might have to switch to the Stanley knife because I can't get the scissors through.
Good hunting, sir. Thanks, Admiral. All right, boys, let's go.
Okay, so now we've finished cutting out the 2 shin guards. You know what's next. We're gonna go in with the sanding paper and sand down the edges. So let's do that. So now, once again, need to get these looking round, just like the shoulder armor. So I'm gonna go in with the hairdryer and heat them up, and then I'm gonna mold them rounder. So let's go do that. Okay, so here are the knee guards again, and last time you saw them they didn't have this string, and this string's just there to keep its shape while it sort of cools down from the heat. So what I've actually got here is I've got some elastic strips, and what I'm gonna do with them is I'm gonna put them in here like that, 1, 2, 3 on both sides. So that's gonna be the way that my shin guards actually stay on when I'm wearing them. And the way I'm gonna glue them down is with this glue called Aerolite. So I'm gonna glue them in there on both shin guards. So I'm gonna go do that. So now what I'm gonna do is cut this out and trace these 3 pieces onto some foam twice. So let's do that. So here it is, I've cut out 2 of these, and I've put a little bit of a bevel on it here where I cut it on the corners, just so when I stick it together it's kind of on that angle there. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do right now. I'm gonna stick it together like that, and I'm just gonna make 2 of them. So let's go do that now. So now we've got 2 of these. I'm just gonna use some more contact cement, and I'm just gonna stick them right on top of the knees, like right there. So let's go do that. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna need is this big long black strip. So I'm gonna quickly cut it out. And here it is all cut out. So what I'm gonna do with this is I'm gonna actually trace it onto some more of this thinner foam twice. So one for each shin guard. And then I'm gonna glue it down onto the thing. So let's go do that. So now I'm gonna cut 12 little square things out of this thinner foam to go like 3 on each side of both shin guards. So yeah, I'm gonna do that real quick. So now, the next thing I'm going to do is pretty similar to what we actually did with the chest armor, and we're going to draw a U shape once again, and then we're going to push it through just so it's like a little lip sort of thing. So let's go do that. And I've also got this for reference right here. So yeah, let's cut this out and push it through. Okay, so now we're going to give the shin guards a coat of flat grey primer, just like we did with the shoulder armour. Now the primer has dried, you may notice I attached these straps onto it, and that's just because I've ditched the elastic idea, and I'm going to go with Velcro now. So I'm going to attach Velcro onto these straps, and then the way I'm going to put them onto my legs is looping them around and putting the Velcro together. And to paint it, once again, we will be using the Rust-Oleum Gloss Black. And yeah, nothing much to say, so let's paint these. So now we're going to make the cod piece. So what I've done is I've made this stencil, and you could see it on screen right here. And what I've done is I've printed it off, made it the right shape, and I'm just going to trace it onto some of the leftover foam from when we made the chest armor. And I'm just going to cut this out and trace it onto this, and then I'll get back to you. Okay, so here we have it traced out. So now what I'm going to do is, you know it, go on with the Stanley knife, and I'm going to cut it out. Okay, so the next thing we're going to be doing is sanding it. So the next step involves the hairdryer again. So what we're going to do is we're going to heat it up right here, around where that is, and then we're going to grab just any round thing, and we're going to try and warp it to get that round shape, because if you look at it in the actual movies, it has that round shape. So yeah, let's try and replicate that. Okay, so now we've sort of warped it a bit. What we're going to do is we're going to get some of this thinner foam, and we're going to glue it here. We're going to make it so that 2 1/4 inches are revealed up here, because that's the length of Darth Vader's belt. And then we're going to do a big loop of 2 1/4 inches all the way around. And then, yeah, we'll do that. So now for the next thing, I've printed out this stencil for the rectangle-y shape thing in the middle. I'm going to cut this out, then I'm going to trace it onto the cod piece and cut it out. Okay, so now we have this piece cut out. We don't want to get rid of this, we want to keep it. We just want to sand both of them. We want to sand the outside of this and the inside of this. So let's go do that. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to get some black thin foam. We're going to glue it behind the cod piece like that and cut out to the side so you can't see it. And then we're going to glue this one on top like that. So let's go and do it. Okay, so this first strip with two and a quarter inch of foam at the top and just some excess stuff at the bottom. This first one we're going to glue it on the back side of the cod piece like that. So I'm just going to quickly do that. So now what I'm going to do, now that this is glued on, I'm going to get some scraps of foam, so it's just any foam, glue it here, and then I'm going to get the next piece and glue it like that. And do that on either side, and then just do it around and around until it can wrap all the way around your waist. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit of tape on the back of this where the joints are, just to give it a bit more, just so it's a bit more stronger. So I just tried it on and I've marked some points where it meets each other. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go stick some Velcro there and stick it on the other side as well. And then when I put it on, I can use the Velcro and it will stay on. So I'm going to do that. And here's the Velcro that I'm using. So let's stick it on. And now it's time for the final reveal. So, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and I hope that if you're making your own Darth Vader cosplay, then this helps with it. If you're wondering about the belt that I was wearing, that's actually the belt that I made in one of my previous videos, and you can watch that up here or in the description below. You decide, but go watch it if you want to go make the belt as well. In reflection, I think my armor turned out really good. I mean, I'm definitely going to keep on upgrading them and trying to make them look even better, but for a starting set of armor, I think this is very sufficient. So, thank you very much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.